This is a version of the classic do as I do effect, but it has some very clean and simple handling that makes it very easy to perform. The way the effect looks is that you hand the spectator a deck of cards, and you take another deck of cards, and you're going to ask them to follow your moves. Now, since I don't have a spectator here, I'm just going to do both parts. I would tell them to shuffle these cards up as much as they want, and I would be doing this at the same time with my deck. I'd be mixing those up, and cut them, shuffle them, however they want, and then they should just kind of go through the cards and stop whenever they want to stop, and just toss a random card on the table without looking at it. Just leave it there face down on the table. And then I would have done the same thing at the same time with this pack. So I'm just going to go through the cards. We'll put a random card onto the table, put the rest of the deck back over here. Now we'll take the card that I stopped at and place it on top of their pack. And we'll take the card they stopped at and place it on top of my pack. Then we're going to ask them to cut their cards anywhere they want and complete the cut. And we'll do the same thing over here. Cut the cards. We'll complete the cut. And then we're going to ask them what are the odds that we would have landed on the same card. And obviously the answer is 52-1 because there's 52 cards in the deck, and the odds that we stopped the same card would be 52-1. So we'll take the blue card out of the red pack and flip it up. It's a 7 of clubs, and the red card inside the blue pack is also the 7 of clubs. So there is a little bit of setup to do this trick, but it's really worth it because of how clean the ending is. So you're going to grab a random card from the blue deck, so I have the 7 of clubs, and you'll find that matching card in the red deck. Then you'll place the cards on the deck like this. You'll have the blue 7 there, a random card, any random red card on top of that, and then the other red 7, the matching card, on the very top of the deck. The blue deck is just a regular deck minus the 7 of clubs, which we've already moved over here. Then the bottom card of this deck is going to have a little bit of double stick tape on it to make the final move super easy. Now, if you don't want to do this part, you don't have to. There is some sleight of hand you could use instead of using tape, and I'll teach that as another version. So this card goes on the bottom of the deck. Now you're ready to perform the trick. The focus goes on the spectator's deck. So you'll be doing the same things over here, but it doesn't matter because they're going to be focused on shuffling their own deck and cutting their cards and selecting a random card from the deck. And just make sure you tell them to toss it on the table without looking at it, face down, just leave it there. It could have been any one of these cards. They pick that random card. At the same time, you could do some false cuts if you want over here. It doesn't matter. But you're not actually going to shuffle your cards because you have this setup and they don't know about that. What you will do is cut the cards once and keep a pinky break right on top of that top card. So when you put the rest of the pack here, you know exactly where that top is. So now as you spread through the cards, once you get to where your break is, by the way, you'll feel it because the double stick tape is right there. You'll pull that card out. You'll toss what was the top card of the deck onto the table as a selection. You'll place this portion of the deck onto the table and then place the rest back on top. So you've essentially just taken the top card of your deck, toss it on the table, and put the deck exactly back the way it was before, leaving the sticky card on the bottom. Now you'll place the cards onto the opposite piles, and you'll have both packs cut. So the first one is cut here. When you cut this second pack, your pack, you're actually taking this indifferent card that they just tossed on top of your deck, which doesn't really matter. And when you cut it, you're putting the sticky card on top of that one so that they stick together, and when you spread the cards out, you see one blue card, which is the original one that you had hidden in there from the beginning, and they don't see the other blue card that's stuck to this card. So of course, when they spread their cards out, the other card will match. Now in the original handling, which was created by Dai Vernon, the extra card that goes on top of the deck, when cut into the middle of the pack, is pushed to the side with the fingers. So as you're covering it up, you either get a pinky break under it, but as you cover this, you'd push this card slightly to the side like that, so that when you spread the cards out, that card would get lost in the center, and you'd see the other one, and you wouldn't see that one. Now, it's a little bit risky because if you spread a little too far, they're going to see that. So you have to be extra careful if you're going to do the move that way. If you do it this way, you don't need the double stick tape on the bottom card. You end pretty clean. Just have to be careful that when you square the cards up, you don't accidentally show that other blue card.